Oh, and here we go. Oh, look at that. I got this wonderful screen set up tonight, so hopefully you'll be able to see uh, all the painting from as many angles as possible. Really want to share this to the best of my ability. It's your Saturday art night. I am your Saturday night quick visual descriptor. I have long brown hair, glasses. I'm wearing plate mail and chainmail armor. I have drinking horn in hand, and standing next to my canvas here, and I have one of my swords in hand. Technically it's a great sword, but it's just one of my favorites. Needs a little care, a little attention. But isn't that the way of things? Sometimes we have stuff that needs some care, some attention, a little bit of time spent. I have naughty kitties running all around already because they know I'm here on camera and it's time for them to misbehave. Most certainly. As with most art nights, we're going to go ahead and empty this horn before the painting begins. Do let me know how you feel about the triple view of the canvas, because my whole goal here is to make it better, easier for everyone to see, not just the painting process, but the painting itself. So hopefully this works out just fine. In one corner, you're going to be able to see my entire body, as well as the canvas, and when I collect paint. Right above me, you actually see a different close-up of the canvas itself, and you'll still be able to see my hands while I work. And then taking up almost half the screen, a close-up of the canvas at a slight angle, you're going to be able to see the painting done in real time through all three views. But again, let me know what you think about this. I hope that it works out pretty well for everyone. We're just going to have a good time, right? I hope that you've had a wonderful week, and I hope that your weekend is starting off, or weekend is going wonderfully. We are now into December, so there's not going to be a whole lot of shows left this year. We're quickly getting to the end of it, and you know, that's pretty special in itself. As we slowly tick our way to the end of the year, we slowly close the book on this year of shows, streaming, art, informative talks, gaming, and all the other fun that we've gotten to have together. Time at the river. You know, this 2021 is on its way to the end. There's really not a long way left to go. As it is, it's already, what is it? It's December 4th. December 4th. Look at that. And I don't know, that's pretty exciting. We're just working our way to Christmas. Some of you are celebrating Hanukkah right now. I'm not going to get into all of it, but there's so many different seasonal holidays. For some of us, we're looking forward to the winter solstice. But it's coming to a close, and then New Year's after that. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of shows left this year. Wow. It's pretty stupendous, isn't it? I'm enjoying, of course, my drinking horn. As always, you can't have a Your Saturday Night without the drinking horn. is showing up at least. It's got to show up. I gotta have a drink from the horn. You know, this is just good times. It's just good times. Good times that we can all have together. In all sorts of ways. All sorts of ways. I'm excited. Boy, am I ever excited. Because I love this time of year. I love the winter and I love the extended holiday season. I love the snow and I love getting together with friends, and you know, there's an innate joy to now. There's just a joy right here for all of us to enjoy. Enjoy the joy together. It's marvelous. So I'm so happy that you can join me for this art night. I don't know, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do, if I'm going to do another painting before the end of the year on stream. So this may be the last art night of the year. We'll see about that. I'm not going to hold that firm and steadfast, but this may be the last painting of the year. Unless there's a clamoring for more painting before the end of the year. Tasty. Now, we're almost 9 minutes into the stream. We haven't started painting yet. The horn is now empty, though. So let's put this sword aside. Let's put this horn down. Let's pick up a palette and let's start the show. Oh, the show. This is your Saturday art night, and we're going to paint together. It's going to be a wonderful time. Get that sword tucked back there so we don't have to worry about it while we're on live together. Get this drinking horn set down. We don't need it while we're painting. Don't need it while we're painting. No, we don't. All right. Now, usually what I'll actually do is I'll wait for suggested colors or anything like that from the audience. But, you know, it's still early. So early, there aren't any suggestions at the moment, and that's okay. That's okay. You know? So what I'll probably end up doing is I'm going to grab a random paint, and then we're going to get moving on this. So first things first, as I usually do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get some paint right on this surface. Normally I would start by putting white across this entire surface. That's not what we're going to do today. I'm going to grab a random paint, and we're actually going to use a random paint to kind of cover. I'm going to look at the camera there so I can't see, and then I'm just going to get in here and we're going to pull something out. Blue! I haven't even opened this one yet. Alright, because I haven't even opened this paint properly yet, we're going to set it down. We're just going to, I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to grab something. Okay, we got pewter gray, so that's where we're starting today. Pewter gray. We're going to see what happens. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm actually taking this 1.5 inch brush here, and I'll do my best to show it to you. Okay, so this is a 1.5 inch flat brush. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. And I'll show it on the other camera. Just a 1.5 inch. You know, this is actually for painting walls. But that's okay. So we're just going to get some of this, and I'm just going to get some of this pewter gray. We're just going to get it on here, right? Let's just get it on. Set that aside there because we've chosen that one. We may or may not come back to it. Actually, before I get too far along, what I'm actually going to do, just to make sure that we get proper coverage here, I'm going to have to pop that forward just for a little bit. I want to make sure I get up underneath there. Sometimes I don't. So I'm not actually going to try to entirely cover this surface, but what I am going to do is I'm going to get something down. We're going to have something here to work on. It's going to provide us greater total canvas coverage. It's going to give us kind of a surface to work with. You know, something's here already. And let's just go ahead, and we're going to work all the way down the canvas. And I'm not even going to try to put it on evenly. Intentionally, I'm going to not put this on evenly. I want to see what happens here. But I want something here. I want something here. So what we're going to do is we're going to work our way all the way down the canvas with this pewter gray. I'm not going to be even. I'm not going to be complete. I'm going to just get color here. Something on a base. And because this is now started, what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to get just a tiny bit of water on this brush. And then I'm going to come through and, ooh, yeah. I'm going to spread some of this pigment out a little bit. Going to get a little bit more water, just a little bit. And really all I want to do is try to get more moisture here. I'm going to take a little bit more of this gray. And let's go ahead. We're going to work it in. Work it in. Let's get a little bit more water. Yeah, just a little bit there. We're going to get this really started off. This is going to give us an interesting surface to work on. You know, just really interesting. My goodness, I hope you're all doing just so absolutely wonderful today. You know, I always wish the best for everyone. Get a little more on here. I want to try to get all of this gray that I have here onto this canvas, this nice pewter. Now we've used pewter before on paintings. It always can, you know, you don't always know how it's going to go, but you hope for the best. All right. So now that I have a lot of that there, let's go ahead. We're going to get this water here. And one of the reasons I'm doing this is, again, I want to make a very wet surface. Not, okay, that's the wrong way to put that. I don't want the surface to be wet, but I want it to have some liquidity, some moisture. I want it to be hydrated. Look at that. Nice hydrated surface with this nice pewter gray. Like, just spread everywhere. So here's our base. And actually what I'm going to do after I get this worked back up to the top here in this thin, very watered down layer of pigment, I'm going to put my brush, this brush right away. We're going to give it a moment to let that kind of soak in. Now I know this isn't a very even or thick coat, but I don't want either. I don't want it to be even and I don't want it to be thick. Nope, that is not our goal. Our goal is to feel it out, to create something, and just to have a good time. I want to have a good time, and I'm pretty sure you do too. 17 minutes in, we've had our drinking horn. We have the surface, started. But what we're going to do is we're going to give this just a moment. I'm actually going to let the liquid and the pigment kind of settle for a moment. Pewter gray, it's an interesting choice, but we did it at random. So what I'm going to do is, as this breathes for a moment, we're going to get various tonality going on there. This is just fun. This is abstract art created in the moment, live, together. And that's one of the things I truly enjoy, is creating this live art together. Just gonna check something here, make sure we're all good. Everything appears to be functioning. That's really my biggest concern at the moment. Everything's functioning, so we're good to go. So now that I've given this a moment, and I know this is a really nice hydrated surface, and we have something here already, we're going to select another paint at random. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to select paint. I don't want to look. I just want to let's see what we end up with. We end up with yellow. I'm going to not use that yellow. I'm going to actually use a different yellow. Alright. So, there was two yellows next to each other. I grabbed one. I started to pick it up, but I'm like, no, I'm going to grab this one. And I know that's kind of against the rules, but there aren't rules here. There aren't. There's fun, and there's creativity, and there's us doing this together. So here we have a yellow flame, and we're going to go ahead. We're going to take that yellow flame. We're going to get it here. Ooh, on our palette. Ooh. Had some noise from the bottle. That's okay. I like it. It says let dry 1 hour between coats. No, we're not going to do that. We're not doing that. All right. So I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to take my 3-inch brush here. So hopefully you can see this, or at least, so this is, again, this is a 3-inch, and it's kind of a very coarse bristle end. So I'm going to take this 3-inch brush, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get a little bit of yellow flame all along its tip. And what we're going to do here is we're going to start from the very bottom. We're going to work it in. Oof. The moisture level is very high on this canvas. So let's go ahead and we're going to work it in. We're going to try to go for nice even strokes from side to side. And I'm going to go a little more and halfway up. All right, so there we have that started. Let's get a little bit more, and I actually want to get more of this on the bottom than the top. And then we're going to get some more of it here, and we're just going to get it all along our big 3-inch brush. Make a little bit of a mess here. That's okay. We're going to make that yellow even stronger on the bottom. But since this is really hydrated, we're going to get a nice blend here. Now I'm actually going to be going only from one side to the other, just pulling right across, and we're going to go almost a third of the way up. Not quite. So I'm going to put some more yellow, more of the flame yellow down towards the bottom, and then we're going to work our way up in strokes going from the right hand to the left hand side. I'm going to try to make nice straight strokes. And we've revealed some of the canvas below there. I like it though. Alright, now I'm actually going to go ahead. I'm going to get a little 3-inch brush really wet. Get it really wet. And then I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. I'm going to try to blend this pewter gray and this flame yellow, going always one side to the other with what's attempting to be nice straight strokes. There we go. And I actually went up just slightly, a little bit more. All right, we're going to set that down. We're going to give this just a moment before we grab a different color. So here we have something happening. Something happening. There's something happening here. What it is yet, we're not quite clear. But this is active, living, abstract painting. We are going to paint with feeling and with the colors presented to us in the order chosen, and we might go backwards later. Now, because this is well hydrated and I actually have a nice blend going, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose another color at random. I'm going to try not to look. I'll look right at the camera. Alright, what did we end up with? Green. Green's not open. I'm going to set it aside. I know that's technically cheating, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to look. Oh! Alright, so now we have orange. Orange. So let's get this orange here. Get it in our palette. And I'm going to go ahead, and in this particular instance, we want to find just the right brush for the job. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to one of my round head brushes. Now, they're flat with a kind of cylindrical tip here. This has a proper name, of which I don't know. Alright. But we have this here, and I'm actually going to go ahead, I'm going to get a little bit, just a little bit on this brush. Right? Just a little bit. And I'm actually going to go ahead, I'm going to go into the middle here. And I'm going to work downward first and kind of crisscross from side to side, really, that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to work it into this blended area in the middle. And then we're going to get a little bit heavier here. I'm going to work upward into the pewter gray. All the way up to the top. Alright, so now we have something going on. But now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start at the middle again. And I'm going to work downward into the blended pewter gray and flame yellow. And I started around the middle, and I'm going to work most of the way down, but I'm not going to go all the way down. Now that I've done that, I'm going to get a little bit of this flame yellow on the tip, and I'm going to get that back, coming back up on the bottom, because I really would like this to be nice and strong. But while I'm coming up from the bottom, I'm going back and forth, and I'm working backwards into what was already blended. I'm going to take some more of this orange. I'm going to work through the middle here, go up. So we're going to have this nice blend of these. Alright, so there we go. We have this blend going on. Hey, Finding Cherry, great to see you. I'm actually going to go ahead. Welcome to this wonderful art night. I'm going to start in the middle here with this orange, and I'm actually just going to kind of scrape across here with it. All right, so there we go. We got that going on. We got this wonderful painting moving along. We have my cat coming over to try to play fetch. I have to throw his mouse with my foot. My cat likes to play fetch. He's just special like that. He's just a good boy. All right, so here we have what is now our base. It's really well hydrated. There's a well blended paint layer here. Now, at this point in time, I can go ahead and I can select another random paint, or we can see if there are any suggestions, and we can go with those. If there's no suggestions, I will randomly select another paint. But so far, we have a pewter gray, an orange, and a flame yellow, which I've blended from top to bottom on the canvas, making a really interesting look right now. It's very, I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on yet. I like it, though. I really do like it. It's very nice. And this canvas is well covered, very well covered. So anything that happens from here is just going to give it more character, more depth, more interest. Might let it take a second to start to settle before I add more paint. But we really have a good blend here from top to bottom, where we're trying to work everything in together. It makes it really fun, and I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this a lot. It's great. So much fun. I enjoy painting so very much, and I enjoy being able to do it with all of you. So if there's no suggestions, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to grab a random color again, and we're going to move on to some more interest to see what happens here. I'm going to try to look right at the camera. We're going to see what we get. Oh, and we have fuchsia. Fuchsia. So let's get this fuchsia onto the palette. All right. This is an interesting one. Very interesting. All right, so now that we have our fuchsia on the palette, I'm going to go ahead. I'm actually going to take this 1-inch brush here. Try my best to show it. But this is a 1-inch flat end brush. So we're going to use this for the fuchsia. Now this fuchsia is very bright. Very bright. And I think it would be best served right now just accenting. But I don't know what to accent yet. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just almost a third of the way up, I'm going to just start putting that fuchsia right there. And I'm going to work my way upward with it. And I'm not going to blend this one as much right yet. I'm going to take this fuchsia, I'm just going to work my way up from the middle to the top. And I'm using the tip of the brush and just getting it on here. I'm liking how this is looking. I want to just go really heavy for some reason right here. And then just make these kind of zigzaggy lines downward. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some more fuchsia here all the way across. Let's see how thick we can get it, right? Now that I have that on there, I'm liking it, but I have an idea. We're going to try it out. We're going to see how this goes. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get my sponge. Now, because there's tons of moisture here, I'm going to take my large round sponge, and I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to blot everything, starting at the corner, the bottom, right across, and I'm going to work my way up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a wipe technique, working from the bottom, moving upward with that sponge. Sponge is getting very dirty indeed. Hey Silver Fox, glad to have you here. We're going to blot again with the sponge. And then, once I get all the way to the top, wipe again, back down. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe back up first. So I want to go again from the right to the left, taking the sponge, and I'm going to just blend all of this together. So we have this fuchsia and this flame yellow and this nice pewter gray and this orange all kind of blended from top to bottom. It's very nice. I'm enjoying it. All right. Well, glad to have you here. You take care of whatever you need to. This is it's a participation event, but at the same time, it's a participate as you can. So you do whatever you have to do. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad everyone is here. Now, pardon me. I really like the blend on this from top to bottom. But what we've actually ended up doing here is taking out a lot of the power of the colors, the saturation, and we've desaturated and blended everything to almost an extra level. But it's probably going to work. We're going to see what happens after I throw this mouse, because my cat wants to play fetch. He decides he wants to play fetch while I'm painting. So, all right. Again, I'm going to open it up before we move on. If anyone wants to suggest a color, so far we've used fuchsia, orange, flame yellow, and pewter gray. If you'd like to suggest a color for the next portion, feel free to. If no one suggests a color, I will grab another one at random and we will continue on. I'll give you all a moment, just in case, because this is a lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. Moving at a good pace as far as canvas coverage, and we're moving at a good pace as far as like getting colors and finding something within this piece. What's there we don't know yet, but we're going to find out what's there. But, alright, I've given everyone a moment. Since there's no suggestions yet, I'm going to grab another random color and we're going to go from there. Okay, hold on. I gotta look at the camera and then just grab something. Alright. That's another yellow. We already used yellow. I don't want to do that yet. Alright, so let's look at you. grab a color. Nutmeg brown. Whew. Wanted something different. We got something different. We're going to grab a little nutmeg brown, put it into the palette. In this case, what brush shall we use? What brush? All right. I'm going to grab another one of my round tip brushes. Has a nice cylindrical shape and a good wide spread to it. It's a flat end, and we're going to see what we do with this. All right. So let's take some of this nutmeg brown, and we're going to figure out where it belongs on here. Let's see. I'm actually just going to go ahead. I'm going to lightly get it on here, on this slightly above the lower left-hand corner. And all I'm actually doing is doing a little bit of like tip stippling with it, making kind of a long shape and then moving downward from there. So let's go, and actually now I'm going to move to the right hand side. We're going to go up a little higher, and I'm going to do the same thing, just kind of putting in this oblong stippling shape slightly above the right hand lower corner, but not all the way to the middle. Just stipple a little bit. And then I'm actually going to go ahead, I'm going to come right here and towards the middle, higher up in the piece, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a little stippling in there. Stipple upward a little, and then stipple down. I'm actually going to stipple down pretty far, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to stipple down lower below the other two. Having a lot of fun here. Still don't know what's happening yet, and now I'm going to go up really high up on this, kind of above, slightly above the midline on the left hand side, and I'm going to stipple inward, a very long thin shape, and then again I'm going to kind of stipple downward lightly, so you just have almost a shadow of said shape. There we go. There's something. We got the nutmeg brown on there. We're not sure what we're doing yet with that, but it's fun. It's very fun. Now, now is as good a time as any. We can either get another color or we can choose one of the previous ones we have used. I will allow for suggestions again from the audience. Anyone who might have an idea of what color we should grab next. And we'll just give a moment. I'll wait. And if there's no suggestions, again, I will grab a color at random and we'll go from there. If it is a similar color as what we've already grabbed, I will put it aside for now and try to get something different. All right. So much fun. So much fun. I enjoy spending this time with all of you. And I enjoy this time painting and creating this exercise of movement and color and life. You know, we're putting a bit of ourselves into whatever is here. Right. Well, as I haven't received any suggestions yet for a new color, I'm going to grab another one at random and we're going to go from there. Right? So let's just look up at you at the camera. We have something here. White. White. Well, we haven't added any white anywhere here yet, so this is fun. We're going to get a little white. Just a little white. And, you know, I'm actually going to end up using one of these 3/4 inch long brushes. It has a flat squared off end, 3/4 inch long brush. Let's grab that straight bristle off there. So let's get some of this white, and let's get some white on here. So where's a good place to add this white? I'm actually going to go ahead and work it in from the upper right hand side lightly, and just start to work across a few lines that I'll just blend right in. I'm going to come away from the edge slightly for this one, and again, just these little lines that will blend in. Now this one I'm going to really blend the bottom, and then I'm going to come up here and kind of blend up to the corner. Let's get a little bit more of it and go heavier up in that corner. Again, just these little lines. And then I'm going to come to where I already made these ones. We're going to get a little more white on that. Nice, long, streaky lines that we're going to slowly blend upward. And now that we have that, I'm going to go down towards this left-hand side, and I'm going to go slightly above the middle of it where I stippled on that nutmeg brown. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to get really thick with some white right there. Again, just lines across. And this one I'm going to slowly drag out almost all the way across. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to kind of push the brush in so we're getting more of its width, more of its length, I should say, actually, length. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to make some really strong white way up here. And then get some of that right there. Alright, so we have some of that going on just across the top. But what I'm going to do for some balance here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come way down here towards the bottom right-hand corner. And I'm going to work my way almost all the way across, and I'm actually going to go right through those stipples on the nutmeg brown. I'm just going to go straight across with this white, and then I'm going to actually do a little bit more in between these 3 nutmeg brown areas, the one in the middle and the 2 on the left. I'm going to make this really strong. I'm going to go cut right across there. Then we're just going to have one here, kind of towards the middle. It's not going to go as far. It's just going to go downward, actually, with very long strokes. And then slightly into this blended area between the 2 points, the one on the right-hand side and the one in the middle. There we go. We have something going on. Thank you so much. We still have so much that we're going to get to do here. And now actually seems like a very appropriate time for me to take another one of these round head brushes. And I'm going to take some of the nutmeg brown, and I'm going to take some of this white, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix them. We're going to get this mix of nutmeg brown and white. It's going to end up slightly a creamy off-white color. And I'm going to come back to these areas that I've already stippled, and I'm going to go over them again. And then down into the under stippling, and then I'm going to come right here, get it on that one, and then stipple downward, and then I'm going to come here. So we're going all of that area that I've already stippled, with nutmeg brown. We're stippling over top of it slightly this off-white nutmeg brown and cream color. I'm going to get just a little bit of that flame yellow, and we're going to mix that in. So we'll have nutmeg brown, flame yellow, and white. And that's actually going to give us kind of a slight green. And then I'm going to stipple again onto those areas that I have already stippled. Oh no, work it down slightly. All right, now that I have that on there, we're going to go ahead and I just think this is going to look fun. It's going to look good. I'm going to take this very acute palette knife, so you can see that. It's a very acute, very long palette knife, and I'm just going to scrape right at the bottom of everything that I just stippled and blended, and we're going to really fuzz that out. So it's still there, but we just want to get just a little bit of paint on there. And there we go. I'm just gonna fuzz and blend, fuzz and blend. There we go. All right. I'm gonna set this down. I don't know. I'm having fun, and I hope you are. I hope that your day has been a marvelous one. I hope that your week was marvelous. I really am happy to share art and paint time with all of you. We're 48 minutes in, so I'm just going to let this sit for a moment. If anyone has color suggestions, tone suggestions, anything like that, feel free to let me know. If you don't, we're going to go ahead and we're going to keep moving forward, and we're going to see what occurs. These paintings are a living thing, and though they are an abstract, sometimes we can create a story with that abstraction. We can find all sorts of little hidden tidbits of fun within what's been created. So we'll see what we get to do. Again, I'm going to state, I hope that the triple camera view of the canvas is working out, and I hope that it looks good for everyone who's viewing. If you like this setup for painting, please let me know. I want to give as many different viewpoints of the canvas as possible to make it easier to see the painting. And it's a whole lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. Whew. I'm getting right into it today. Like 6:20, we have 40 minutes left. I can go ahead and I can pick another paint, or someone can give me a suggestion, or we can just kind of like go back to one of the previous ones. But this is really good. We have fuchsia and pewter gray, flame yellow, orange, nutmeg brown, and white, and it's given us something really interesting and really fun. And I'm very curious to see what will happen next. You know, I mean, I may be the one painting, but I'm not the one who decides what this painting is. The act of painting it, creating it, and then the luck of creation itself will all go into whatever this final thing is. So now it doesn't look like I have any color suggestions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select another random color. This will be my last random color that I select without any sort of feedback from the audience. So after this color, I will only use the colors that we have previously used. I'm going to finish it out. Driving, wish I could help. No problem whatsoever. I'm just glad that you're here to listen, and I'm glad that you're here for our art night. You focus on driving, and drive safe. Drive safe. All right. So there's no suggestions, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to choose one last random color. Now look over at you guys. We have bright blue. Bright blue. Whoop! I almost dropped the bottle. Good thing I caught it immediately. All right, so we have this bright blue. We're going to get that right on our palette. Now for this bright blue, that's a good question. What brush will I use? So many good brushes. So many good brushes. I'm actually going to use this 3/4 of an inch rounded tip. That's what I'm going to use. Now it is a thin brush, but it has a rounding to the tip, and I got this nice long handle on it. We're going to use that. Bright blue is just fun, so we're going to see. Let me just look where. Let's get some bright blue on here. Let's look less, paint more. Look less, paint more. Less thinking, more doing. Less thinking, more doing. All right. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start way up at the top on this upper corner, upper left-hand corner, and I'm actually going to just build some blue saturation right there. And then I'm going to come below where that white was, and then I'm going to really get some blue saturation there. Then I'm going to work across, and I'm going to work slightly backward, kind of blend it into where that white was. Now, what I'm actually doing is I'm kind of using the tip at almost a 45-degree angle here. We're going to really build up some blue saturation here underneath. So on the right-hand corner, almost a third of the way down the canvas, we're going to build up a line of blue saturation, just drag it right across. I actually want to saturate that even more. So I want more blue here. Work it backwards somewhat into the white that's at the corner, and then even across the canvas. And then try to build up some more blue saturation on this side. And now I'm actually going to go ahead. I'm going to get a lot of blue here, and I'm just going to drag it up and across. So starting slightly above the halfway mark, I'm really kicking up the saturation here, and even going all the way across at that point. Now we're going to work our way backwards, upward, I should say, with this really bright blue, and then we'll slowly work it up to the right-hand corner, but really thin, almost dry brushing it on. I want the brightest of this bright blue to be right there, a little above the middle. All right, now that we've done that, I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm just going to slowly add it below. And again, this is going to be almost a dry brushing. I don't want to add too much of the pigment here. I'm going to get a lot of it off here and then work it into this orange yellow midpoint, slowly downward. And then I'm actually going to come right here below some of that nutmeg brown where I went ahead and blended that. I'm going to go for slightly heavier color penetration right here, a little more saturation. And then I'm just going to almost dry brush drag it down till we get to the bottom there. And right where we have a lot of this stippling that I blended in, I'm going to slowly stipple that onto the blended areas below here. Just drag. I'm going to do something with drag. All the way. Right in that middle point, we're going to really mute that out. It's there, but you can't really tell what it is. And over here on this side, I'm going to do the same thing, but we're just going to put it over all the areas that we've stippled. Just put some dark right here. All right. So there we go. That's currently where we sit. Now at this point in time, I'm only going to start using colors that are either suggested by the audience or that I have already used, and we're going to try to take this whole thing up and just keep making something beautiful. Well, I think this is pretty nice. We're almost at 6:30, so we have about 32 minutes left to paint and then to figure out what we're making. But I really like the way this is going. I like the tones, I like the colors, I like the blend, the bright and the dark, and all these various areas of just visual interest. There's just a lot going on here. Alright, I'm so bummed. Oh, I'm very sorry, Cherry. Sometimes that happens. It's never very fun when something gets to you and it's broken. Yeah, you gotta email them right away. Get a hold of whoever you got it from right away and hope for the absolute best. Birds. Ha! Birds, I like that. Birds. And it's all caps with 2 question marks. Birds. Birds. Let's see what we can do about birds. Birds is an interesting suggestion. Or not. Well, I've gone ahead and I've grabbed a little bit of black with birds. Oh, I don't even have any black left in this, I guess. I gotta throw that out. Birds. Oof. Well, that would add something interesting here, and I don't see why we can't. So, what we're going to do, because I'm going to find the right brush for this. And I'm actually going to use this really, really tiny one. The 2 views look like different paintings. See, that is something I like to hear. More white when it's further away. Yeah, that's one of the fun things about making art is you don't always know what's going on. You can end up with all sorts of interesting things, and when you do abstractions like this, you can end up in all sorts of fun spaces. Now, more white. I know that's not actually what you asked for, but I'm going to take this really tiny little brush here. I'm going to add a little bit more white in some spots. More specifically, I'm going to blend it into this blue area here. And then up here. And then mix some in here. And mix some in here. Just a little more white. All with good purpose. All with good purpose. Something I actually want to do really quick is I'm going to take some of this flame yellow. And I actually would like to get some of that up here. And some a little bit of this white here. Mixed with some of the flame yellow. And because I lost so much flame yellow down here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to get little bits of it in. And then right here. This orange. All right, there we go. I'm audio and connection issues. Catch you all soon. Well, thank you for being here. Enjoy your night. We most certainly new moon. Yay, new moon. All right. Lavender. I really like that. Okay, so we can get some more of the fuchsia on here, which is what created that kind of lavender. Let's go ahead and do some of that. Going to grab another one of these round tip brushes. All right, we're going to get a little bit of that fuchsia. Let's see how much we want. And I actually just going to start way up at the top there. What we're going to do is way up at this top right hand corner, I'm going to start working it in, and then we're going to go downward with it. We're not going to go all the way across. We're just going to get it really worked in up there, work our way down, and actually put a little bit over this bright blue as we go. Now right here, about almost a third of the way down, I'm going to start working all the way across. Let's go ahead. We're going to get right here at this midpoint, slightly above the midpoint. Then I'm going to start working it across again. Now, because of the way this is going, I need just a little bit of water. Just a little bit. Try to get that water right out of the brush. I want the pigment, but I don't want it to be too wet. All right, there we go. We're going to start to create a blend here. Very interesting blend. blend out some of that white. All right. So now we got something going on here. At least something different. I can't say for certain how it looks to all of you, but I can say for certain it's very interesting. I'm liking this kind of direction that it's moving in. I personally would like to take another round brush and then see if I can't. I'm going to have to rehydrate this because I have a little bit of this pure gray here, and I just want I want this pewter gray. I actually might need to get a little bit more of it. Just a little bit. There we go. A little bit more pewter gray. And this round tip brush, it's about half an inch at its tip. And I'm just going to get some of that color on there and then get some of it off. I just want to kind of stipple over what I stipple. Alright. Now that that's on there, I'm actually going to go ahead and get a little bit of this orange. And again, I'm going to stipple on where I stipple. And then get a little bit of this nutmeg brown. Just a little. Stipple again on top of that. Stipple on top. A little bit of this yellow. Put that over top. That. Alright. Lots of visual interest here, lots of things going on. Alright. Oh, thank you so much. Just a tad more good, huh? Alright. Cotton candy. Alright. So here's where we're currently sitting. We're in our last 20 minutes of the show. At this point in time, I'm actually going to go ahead. There's the one I want. I'm going to take this very small brush. Very small. It's tiny little thing. I think this is a, what is it? This is a number 3. So this little tiny number 3, we're going to take that, and I'm going to go ahead and take, which one do I want? I'm going to take this white. going to make little dots on these edges of these stippled images. Little dots. There's one way in the back, and add even more white too. Alright, and then just a little bit more. Just a little bit. Making kind of a broken edge line here. So there we go. We had something going on there, but it looks nice. It looks nice. All right. Whew, there are so many ways to go from this point. It really becomes a question of how do we do it. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take another one of these square tip brushes. This one is 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to get some of that bright blue. I know it's not the favorite of everyone, but I need to do something. Alright, now we've created almost a midline, almost a horizon line. I'm going to take some more of it. I'm just going to add some to this lower corner, this lower left-hand corner, just a little. Now that that's there, we are going to get some more of the fuchsia. After we have that fuchsia, we're going to be doing a couple of things. I'm taking, this is number 3, this is another number 3, so this is little tiny number 3. And I'm just going to get a little bit of this fuchsia. I'm going to dabble that on top of these stippled areas. Little dabs. Little dabs. So you want to put a really heavy level of it over on this right hand area. And then Alright, so we got something going on, but I've added a little bit more of this fuchsia to there. And then I'm going to take a little bit of it, again, on this number 3. add some fuchsia bands up on this top level. Fuchsia bands. Other than that, I'm actually going to go back to my white. I'm going to work that into some of these midpoints. And even up in this corner. Slightly over that blue and fuchsia area. And a little bit in our foreground here, just worked in. A little bit on the side here. So there you go. There's where we're currently sitting. I'm actually really liking this. It's 6:48 Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to be going on for about 11 more minutes, give or take. But I'm so far really enjoying this. I hope you are as well. Pardon me. We are nearly to the end of our wonderful journey together today. This has been a lot of fun. I'm trying to think of anything else I would want to do here. Very difficult to say. Very difficult to say. We have something really interesting here. Really lovely, actually. And I realize that depending on which angle you're looking at it, it's going to look different. I do have an idea. I'm going to take my number 3 fan brush. And with this number 3 fan brush, oh, it's no problem. Thanks for having me here. So with this number 3 fan brush, I'm actually going to take just a bunch of my orange. Then right there. Take some more of that orange. Fade it out. Fan brush. Across this midpoint over here. We're going to take some of the fuchsia and we're going to work that in on that side. A little bit more. Alright. Now that's fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to take this fan brush right here and this fuchsia. I'm going to put it right below that line. So a little bit yellow. Fuchsia over the top. Liking that. Liking that. Spoiled American. Oh. No, I think that can be said about so many of us. As far as Thanksgiving, what did I do? Oh, that weekend I played a game. Very light, very relaxed. Okay. Whew, I am liking this. I'm liking this. Now, under the circumstances, I am finally going to add a little black. I have some carbon black ink. There's always a good way to do this. Most certainly had a good time. So I'm going to be taking this number 4 here. It's a long, thin brush. I'm going to get just the slightest bit of carbon black on the tip. Gonna get the cat out of the bookshelf. But she doesn't belong in there. Alright, so now that I've added that black, that looks really dark, and it is. Don't worry. Get the same brush that I just used. I've added some water to it. A little more water. Go back up here. We're going to add a little color to the top of some of this. Okay. Whew. A lot of fun here. A lot of fun. I hope you're having fun too. What we've created here is unique. There's nothing else. It's fun. A lot of fun. Hope you've had as much fun today as I have. I'm actually going to go ahead. I'm going to take another one of these square tip brushes. This one is a 1/2 inch. And a dry brush a little bit of my yellow back into here. And then I'm going to dry brush and mix a little bit more fuchsia up here. A little bit more yellow in here. A bit more white on this side. And sneak up a little bit. Sneak up this area. A lot more of this yellow down here. You take that white and work backward. All right, there we go. All right, so we have come down. What the heck? It's 7 o'clock. So we're done. We're done. Hopefully you've enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed making it. Thank you for your suggestions. Thank you for being here. This has been a whole lot of fun. Your Saturday art night. Just getting this where it currently is. And what I'm actually going to do very carefully. Very carefully. There we go. All right, so there's the piece. I got all the bracket away from it so you can actually see the whole thing. See if I can just reposition this ever so slightly on the camera. Just a little. Nope, it's the wrong way. The wrong one. It's the wrong way. All right, there we go. No matter which camera angle you look at, this is going to look different, actually. So I actually really like that, you know. We ended up with a piece that can be viewed in many ways. I'm really happy with it. Baba Yaga is really happy with it. We have lots of different color tone and variation in depth here. And yeah. So this ended up really interesting. Thank you for all of your suggestions. Will be put up for sale on my website in the future. So keep an eye out, and it will be there at some point in the near future. However, until then, be excellent, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful night. Even though there's nothing in it, I will go ahead and I'll at least raise a horn to all of you. Thanks for being here. And I'll see you all again real soon. Have a great rest of your weekend. All right? Bye, everybody. Oh, where's my stoppy button?